It's been pretty well accepted and documented that health information exchanges need a master patient index. The reason for that is that patient data is scattered all throughout the healthcare spectrum. You go to a hospital number one, you go to 3 doctors' offices, you go to a lab and a radiology center. So they've all recognized that there's a challenge in pulling all of that data from the multiple sites, and they use a master patient index to aggregate the data from multiple sites, but then they have to use probabilistic reasoning to come to the right answer if there's different information about the same patient. Conversely, a master provider index is also aggregating data about a provider from multiple sources. The real difference is that there is now a unique identifier for a provider called the NPI. Whereas if the patients had a unique identifier, it would be a lot easier to get to the right answer and know that you're matching the right records for that provider. But you're not allowed to use the Social Security number as a unique identifier for a patient. It's very different on the provider side. We now have this national provider identifier. It's a unique identifier. So when Health Market Science goes out and pulls in data from 1,700 primary sources and another several hundred secondary sources, then we run our algorithms to match the right records together. We index them all under that single unique identifier, the NPI, and we've created a golden record. The reason that this is so important and should be considered just as critical as a master patient index is that there are a lot of stakeholders in a health information exchange, and they all need to use the data differently. So if you have a health plan or a hospital or a physician office, they have different business processes that utilize the provider data differently. A health plan may need the data to adjudicate claims or to do credentialing for fraud and abuse investigations. A health plan may need the provider data to reach out to the community to try to get some new doctors on staff. And certainly a health information exchange needs that data to ship the information during the transaction to the right provider. So it should be part of an infrastructure for a health information exchange, and it should be available to all of the different stakeholders.